Okay. I think we're streaming. Let me just make sure. It's the one thing I try to do before I start is just make sure we're going. Mixer's not connecting. It was fixed yesterday. Okay, here's what's up. I have updated everybody on the Rock-A-Lot channel to what's going on with how I respond in the future to the current story, it being over. Of course, I gave you an update that the Sharrell World thing was canceled. And why here on UNIRock 2, of course. A lot of you guys don't watch Rock-A-Lot, and I don't mind that. Rock-A-Lot is our gaming channel and after show network, and a lot of all the content and all of the shows that are to a point, other than these member-only live streams, but we needed a member-only live stream, so it's all good. Though, let me get to the point here. I want to update you on what I'm doing and how I will respond to certain things in the future, and why I'm doing that. Also, due to what was said about me on Twitter, retweeted, thank you whoever did that. I'll try to look at any super chats and things like that after I'm done with the initial presentation here. I'm trying to pop up the super chats now. So after something that was said about me on Twitter was retweeted by a certain person that will not stop attacking me viciously, I'm going to respond to it against everybody's advice, but I'm going to do it because I'll explain. I'll explain why. Just get, let's roll into this. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Let's go. It is 5/28 of 2020. It's a little rare because it's a live stream. It's a live show. A little bit of a presentation here on UNIRock 2. You guys are used to having them over here every night, and for the last while, you're only getting like 1 or 2 a week. I'm sorry. I'll also explain when you're going to get more live streams over here more often. Actually, after the weekend. We're moving this weekend. We just decided to move unexpectedly again. So anyway, let's go. UNIRock Live. To start off, veterans are not crazy just because they are disabled. It does not make them crazy that they are disabled. For one, I get it. I get it. I'm being literally attacked over my veteran status again in this situation by the same people that have been doing it for a while. Probably because it's Memorial Day just passed, right? So just because I'm a disabled veteran or any other disabled veteran out there, it does not mean that their opinions are invalid. And yes, that is what this is saying. And it also doesn't mean that we're crazy. And I don't know, I mean, even in every other situation that we've gone through in the last few years, I haven't had to do a stream like this because it's so basic. It's so false. It's so extreme. But then again, that's why they're doing it. I announced on the Rock-A-Lot channel that I wouldn't be going live doing any more updates on the whole Katie versus Steve situation. Because it's over. It ended. And you know why. She's filing the restraining order and the injunction orders. She's not suing him like he keeps erroneously portraying to everybody. And because of that, it's caused this whole thing. And you get it, right? So here's what was said. I have this random sock account who likes to retweet Q stuff and Phoenix Enigma stuff. Phoenix Enigma being a crazy guy that sells food prepper buckets so that he can make like a 70% profit margin markup off of the people that buy them for a month's worth of food for $199 plus $7 shipping and handling. This guy out there who puts out misinformation on every single... I've debunked him many times in the past. And he wrote a blog about me a long time ago. And guess who used that blog to attack me recently? Okay, we won't go there. Though, that's what this account is. It's somebody from that realm. I'm assuming it's a YouTuber on a sock account. Go look at it if you want. Do you want to know how to find it? At TRUTHHU. 11362376. Not a sock at all. Uni's crazy for saying it's a sock. Truth hurts. I've known Jason prior to the KJ Steve McRae stuff, and he was a liar / LARPer then. He doesn't care about facts / evidence. I don't know. Maybe his disability is psychological. So a few thoughts come to mind, not about trying to label me crazy because I'm a disabled veteran, but, and we'll get into that in a minute, but a few thoughts come to mind, like, you're not following this account. Well, how do you know that that within a few minutes of this being tweeted that it happened? Why are you retweeting it? Why do you care to spread this person's stuff? You've literally, like, putting down other people for sharing conspiracy theorist stuff in the past or being a conspiracy theorist, yet you're perfectly fine, you know. And how do you know if they know me? How do you know if they're not lying? Because when somebody gets up there and says that, if they don't have any evidence, oh, wait, I thought they were saying I don't have any. Well, we know for a fact that this individual doesn't. We know they're just stating something without it. They're basically breaking their own rule. Isn't it? It's really crazy, right? If you want to look at their Twitter and see if I'm messing around, go ahead and look. Though, they'd love that if you did. They want the attention, and they're glad to get it, right? You know what you'll find if you look there? You'll find links to Phoenix Enigma, so you can check him out. Phoenix Enigma, selling you food buckets for the satanic apocalypse. No joke. So this is the part that really got a lot of people pissed off, along with me. I don't know, maybe his disability is psychological. So, attacking me over my disability. Of course, random sock accounts do it like crazy. Why do random sock accounts do it? Because YouTubers that do that tend to lose support from people. When you try to bring the veteran status into it, you're basically saying, oh, so, you know, Uni, he's a disabled veteran that was medevaced out of, you know, you get it. I don't want to go any further. I was medevaced. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm not getting into details about that because I don't talk about that on this channel. It's not what this channel is about. It's only been mentioned here a few times. So why make it about that? How does it further the story? Also, why does it relate to anything that's going on? And even if you want to attack him for that, how are you going to put out a blanket statement that because a veteran goes to war, gets disabled in the line of duty, and gets medevaced out, now their opinions are invalid? You shouldn't care what Uni shows you or what he says, because he's one of those pesky war vets. He's one of those pesky people who might not just have a physical disability. It might be mental. Now, of course, if this was just set on this sock account, we wouldn't be talking about this right now because sock accounts say things, extreme things all over the place all the time on Twitter to get attention, and that's why Twitter is considered literally the toilet or cesspool of the internet. And that's pretty bad because people will literally hate on Twitter more than even 4chan or 8chan or those types of places. And I'll hit all the subscribers, members, super chats, and all that in a little bit. But not only him retweeting it, is he endorsing it? Is he sharing the opinion? Is he agreeing with it? But he's instilling his buddies to jump into my live chat and say things like, UNIRock is a disgrace to the uniform. Now, I think he's saying this, of course, to try to anger me or piss me off, but what matters is that this is happening solely because he retweeted this sock account. So let me tell you why I don't think you should wipe a war vet or a disabled vet. I don't think you should just consider them to be crazy. I don't think you should devalue their opinion or wipe their opinion away like he does and like they do, just because they served and protected, you know, the rights, you know, fought for their country, right? You get me there? I don't agree with that. Let me tell you why. So, of course, it's pretty obvious. Just because somebody is disabled, it doesn't mean that they're crazy. And it also doesn't mean that they can't give their opinion or they shouldn't give their opinion. If it did, more people wouldn't fight for their country. You know, when the towers fell, I signed up. I knew I was going in during a wartime. I got a medal for it, for going in during the wartime. And I knew I was deploying. They told me I was when I signed up, when I swore in, when I got to basic, when I got to training, and when I got to my unit. And we went. Okay? We knew that. So should I back then have said to myself, you know, if I survive the war I'm volunteering to fight in, maybe I'm going to want to publicly give my opinion in the future. Maybe I should not sign up for this. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to want to give my opinion on things. Maybe I'm going to want to speak publicly. Maybe I'm just going to want to have a social media account. And you know, people will think I'm crazy because if I get disabled and I manage to live through the disability, then they're going to think I'm crazy and I won't be able to give my opinion because no one will listen. You shouldn't have to think that way when you sign up for the military or decide to fight for your country, and it shouldn't be a thing. Of course, it's not for most people, and I don't even think it is for this sock account. If you look at the sock account stuff, I won't show it to you here, I don't even think they agree with what they said. I think they purposely said it so that a certain person who's been attacking me viciously for being a veteran and for giving my opinion and for showing you the evidence out there on these stories and doing my YouTube channel, he wanted to retweet it and obviously got a sock account to say it so that he could. The other things that this account tweets seem to go against the fact that they, you know, think this way. But then again, it is a sock, it is a troll, so who knows? Though, I even find it a lot weirder than just that, because the person that is sharing this and instigating people to jump into my live chats and say things like this, the person doing that himself says that he did 3 tours in a combat zone. And it's just crazy to me to think somebody could go and do that and then let some petty internet beef, petty YouTube beef, petty social media garbage allow it to be a focal point of whether somebody's opinion should be trusted or not. And even a step further, the sheer fact that I have to say this on my channel right after Memorial Day is just nuts. Though, during Memorial Day, people were jumping into my live stream and thanking me for serving when I was on my Rock-A-Lot gaming channel, chilling, right? Or right after Memorial Day. Even people donated to me to say, hey, you know, happy Memorial Day and such. And right afterwards, a tweet that I just won't even bother to share was put out by the same people. I won't say person, I'm going to say by people. You know who did it, okay? That said that my subscribers are dumb because Memorial Day isn't about thanking veterans. Memorial Day is about the ones that passed away. Well, I agree. The issue is I almost did pass away, and I lost, you know, I had to have parts of my body cut out. I had to have veins and muscle removed, and just because I survived something that the doctors didn't think I would survive, I don't think means that somebody who wants to tell me Happy Memorial Day can't tell me Happy Memorial Day. And I also don't understand why it even inspires that kind of reaction if it is some legit criticism or anything more than you could complete the sentence. I don't have to show it. What this also does, in my opinion, if you do have a following and you put out these bad takes, all it does is cause, I don't think it's going to cause people who actually think critically to repeat this type of ignorant rhetoric. But what I do think it does is cause the trolls who go around and pretend to agree with everything that a certain person says to use that rhetoric to troll, to get the effect and get the attention, like old Mr. account, what is it here? Old Mr. account, Truth Hurts had said. Now, everything that this person said is categorically false. I have known of Jason prior to the KJ Steve McRae. Well, we don't know who you are. I don't want to know who you are, but don't expect us to give you the credence of saying, hey, you know someone when you don't even have an identity. You purposely aren't showing it. You can, you know, pretend to know people as much as you want, but I'm not going to give you credence. He was a liar and a LARPer then. He doesn't care about facts or evidence. Well, neither do you, because you didn't put any facts or evidence out that I lied about anything. What you did, though, was complain about a person named Isaac Cappy. And if I wanted to, I could go into how I debunked Isaac Cappy, proved that he was lying and that he was that he choked out a famous person, Michael Jackson's daughter named Paris Jackson, daughter, right? And that he got ordered restraining orders and he got in trouble for choking out Paris Jackson, and then she released text messages that proved that he was trying to sell her methamphetamine, and he went crazy and his eyes were all dilated and he was telling stories of Tom. I won't even get into it. I debunked him. How did I debunk Isaac Cappy? I showed what the man said in the beginning when he first started telling his story before it went viral, and then I showed how his story had changed much later. The initial story didn't involve many of the things. In fact, it almost said the opposite of many of the things that it said towards the end. And due to that, no additional thing happening other than him going viral. I used that to show people when he got attention and started to get donations and money after saying that Tom Hanks did this and Steven Spielberg did this, and he got that money, he increased what the story was to instigate more of the attention and more money. He was lying. He was LARPing. He was playing a game. And so were the people that were sharing his stuff as if he was some kind of Hollywood leaker telling us the direct, provable stories with hard facts about these famous people, even though he didn't have a provable story or a hard fact. And the people who follow him don't seem to know what hard facts or provable things are. I don't want it to make this take too long, so let me go ahead and sum up what I'm trying to say here. The fact that he's sharing this is because I have been telling everybody on Rock-A-Lot that we're not going to continue with the live streams that feed in to the us versus them and calling out type of stuff there. And I'm going to be uploading response videos instead to anything I discuss around this situation to help mitigate the entire, thing, the amplification that live streaming gives it, because I do believe live streaming gives it an amplification. It allows people out there in the story to become more involved in the story and get attention from the story thanks to the live streams. So that's why I stated that. I have noticed that every day since I stated that it was over, it has gotten more and more extreme, and as much as they could possibly throw out, they have. I think because they don't want this to stop. They don't want it to become a thing of the past. They want this to keep going into the future. It's the only thing profitable for them right now, at least until the restraining order and injunction orders hit. But one thing, though, is that something happened that I haven't told you about here on UNIRock 2, and just to make sure the people that watch this channel know what happened, I'm going to tell you why I've decided to make this decision and stated what I stated on Rock-A-Lot. That way, at least the people who don't watch Rock-A-Lot also know, and then we're going to go to the after show to discuss things further and play some video games after that. So let's get going. One more time, I'm going to say it as clearly as I can so I can go into a different subject, and I will. What the world? Wow. I'll read that now because it's, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Memorial Day is to pay our respect to those who didn't return, and don't forget the soldiers that did return and left a part of themselves in the field. Very day is a day to say thank you. Thank you, Camel, and you're too kind. You really are. You're too supportive, and I appreciate you very much. I agree with you. So one more time, I'm going to sum up the thing about veterans and Memorial Day. Veterans aren't crazy just because they're veterans. I think we're past that, right? It shouldn't have to be a stream where we say this anymore. All right? Good. And disabled veterans aren't crazy because they're disabled veterans, right? They might be crazy, But they're not crazy just because they're disabled veterans, all right? Also, people that were disabled while deployed aren't automatically crazy because they would have had to go through something traumatic in order to be disabled while deployed. People that were disabled in the line of duty, people that were medevaced out of the situation, as I was, all those things, doesn't mean I'm crazy. You don't know if I handled it or didn't handle it. You don't know. You have no clue. You don't know me. You act like you know me. You actually employ sock accounts to pretend like they know me, but you don't know me. And I don't have to, my own girlfriend doesn't even know what really happened over there. And most of the people over there don't talk about it or can't because they're not alive, okay? I choose not to go into it. You're not going to force me to. And I'm not going to make it a focal point of my channel because it's not something I like to remember. I like to remember fighting for my country. I don't like to remember what happened over there. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I don't know. Maybe his disability is psychological. He could also not just be doing that with disabled veterans, but he could be doing it to anybody. So anybody who even has depression or anxiety or even a more severe mental disorder, it does not mean they're blanket crazy. It doesn't mean they should just blanket not be, their opinion should just be thrown out the window, in my opinion. Does it mean we can criticize? Does it mean we can discuss it? Does it mean that we can or can't do any of that? We should be. We should. It shouldn't be stigmatized to where we have to just censor it all out and say, oh, God, they're disabled. You can't talk about that. But I do think that in this situation, throwing out this blanket that you used to know me, this blanket thing that I'm a liar and a LARPer with no evidence, this blanket thing about how I don't use evidence while obviously you don't, and this blanket thing that I must have some type of mental disorder or something due to the fact that I'm criticizing a certain person online, you know who? Of course it is. You see his name right here? You got me? He's the one that retweeted it. He's the one doing it. A lot of people are saying this is the lowest he's went, and I agree. I think he's going to keep going lower and lower and lower to try and get more channels to give him that attention. Why? Because once you've lost all of your influence in every other way, the most desperate will continue to get influenced by being the most crazy as they can. He's already hanging out with many of those people. He's already made his friends on the internet, many of those people that lost their influence a long, long time ago due to their actions, right? So it's not really that. And sorry, I got to fix my chat. I changed my chat on UNIRock too. So, hey, there we go. Exactly. Projection. I agree. Projects a lot. That's all it is, really. Though, let's move on because I didn't just come to this decision today to move on from the story and to only upload well-written, well-scripted videos to respond from now on instead of doing it live to the direct Katie Joy versus him thing now that it's entered restraining order town and injunction order town. No lawsuit. They aren't going to lawsuit town. I know there's a lot of this out there. Attorneys need to be contacted. I've been instructing my attorney to literally harass her and her attorney so that I can try to force this to happen quicker and all this stuff and find out it's not gonna happen. It's an injunction order. It's a restraining order. It doesn't work like that. Thank you for your service and honesty about disability. He's a despicable coward, and this is new low even for him. He's a loser with nothing in his life. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thank you, and I respect how you feel about this move. Of course, his defenders are going to come in and say that he accidentally did it. He accidentally shared it, or just because he shared it, he doesn't agree with it. You're wrong, and I already showed you in my live chat. Due to what he's sharing, he's instigated a bunch of these little weird sock accounts. Guess what that weird sock account said after they told me I'm a disgrace to the uniform? Obviously for my criticism against this current issue, but I'm a disgrace to the uniform. And then they noticed that I'd turned on member-only chat on this channel and stated in my Rock-A-Lot chat that, what was it? That turning on member-only chat is a disgrace to the service or something. A real veteran would never turn on member-only chat. And of course, Navy came in with the best response I've ever seen. Navy, one of our current service members who watches our show, who we respect very much, came in with and swooped in and said, actually turning off the like-dislike ratio would be being a coward. And member-only streams are something I'm obligated to do here. I have no shame in turning it on. And most YouTubers, once they get member-only chat and get enough members to where their chat moves when member-only chat is on, which emojis are fine, guys. We love emojis here. Most YouTubers, like Shroud, like most bigger YouTubers, will leave member-only chat on once they hit that point. I'm sorry I'm at that point, y'all. I'm not ashamed of turning on member-only chat. I don't take it as if you're shaming me. I take it like you're getting jelly or something. Sorry. I didn't mean to. It wasn't my fault. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is what happened on Reddit very quickly, because I don't even want to give this a lot of attention, but it has to be addressed in some extent. It's been addressed on Rock a lot, but I want to make sure it's addressed here. And yes, I'll hit every dono and every join in just a minute. But thank you. I'll thank everybody, though, in just a minute. I'm not ignoring you. On Reddit, a couple days ago, it was announced that because a certain person... actually, so you're asking me why now am I saying a certain person instead of saying his name? He has put out that he is going to false strike any channel that even slightly harasses him or borderline harasses him on the internet. Now, we know he thinks that Nate Brody putting out a video debunking him is harassment, and he thinks that Nate Brody's video harmed Sweet Heathen, and he thinks all these weird thoughts about how he defines harassment. So, you know, God knows what is going to trigger him into throwing his false strikes around that he is actively threatening. Go to his Twitter. It's still up if you think that I'm bullshitting. But because of that is why I'm going to try my best to only mention him when necessary, and then move away from him, anything about him live, other than the updates on non-sec. And once the Katie thing is finally resolved, you know, the restraining order, injunction order has gone through, I'll do a live stream there. Because Katie just hit 80,000 subs. Katie just hit the big 80. And I'm, congratulations to Katie. Let me make sure. Somebody had just shown me that before I started. Let me pull it up. And you know what's crazy? With all of this content that claims that she's done all this crazy stuff, all of it lacking any evidence, and mostly being all based on Katie's opinion on something that pissed someone off, it's crazy that she hit 80,000 subs. You know, it seems like if there was all this evidence out there against her, that she wouldn't have been able to do it. And it's almost amazing that she's continued to make videos and shrug this off so that she could do this. But if you think that her channel growing is going to stop all of this from happening, it's not. And she should be criticized when people want to criticize her. And those people should be fair. And they should put out their criticism videos, understanding that they may get criticized themselves with their criticism, and understanding that Katie has the option to respond or not if she doesn't want to. It shouldn't be taken off platform, and it shouldn't be hidden behind Facebook groups. So I do think people were saying I don't think Katie should be criticized. I do. I do think she should. I've criticized her myself among several things. She criticizes me every time I talk to her. I'm not playing. I don't mind. I know that people will tell you that Katie can't be criticized and I can't be criticized. It's really the opposite. I'm sorry to say. Once you get to the false strike point, which happened a week ago with these guys, you know, and then once he gets outed for threatening to file false strikes, all of a sudden Katie gets spammed by every one of these accounts that Katie is the one false striking. Well, you remember what happened the last time she was accused by Steve of false striking. There was fake emails put out all of a sudden, and there was fake shit. So, yeah, you know, sorry about the fact that nobody gives a shit. They spam that out. What people do care about, though, is as soon as he gets heat for threatening to false strike his critics, all these accounts jump to his defense and start... What I can't fathom at this point is how they don't realize why they're not being received well by the internet. They can't fathom why. They literally think they have the high ground. they think they're doing the right thing and just nobody else gets it or something. And they've convinced themselves of this to the point they can't even be self-aware to a degree, even the slightest degree. Because if they were self-aware at all, they would look at what it looks like to have all these different hate accounts who constantly hate over opinions do this. So the most interesting thing happened after I last week said that on Rock a Lot. To get you updated, I made a point that these guys think that throwing out criticism of her opinions or criticism of Katie talking about her home or her family or her mom or something, how people on the internet don't care to sit and hate on her for that, and it makes the sock accounts look really bad. The Secret Troll Facebook group started to put together a project of getting the worst evidence against Katie and getting it into a big thing, a big packet, a big database so they could share it. And now they're promising everybody that the big database on Katie is coming. Well, you know, pardon us for not caring after we've been promised a database of evidence 12 times? 14. It's got to be over 20 by now. Since last year in June, and then again blowing up in November, and again trying to be forced into everything with the Sharrells World situation. Pardon us if we don't care about your future databases. You've cried wolf so many damn times that even if the big bad wolf shows up, no one's going to care. Just saying. Sorry. But to the Reddit situation, so that I can get to the Rock a Lot channel. On Reddit, a certain fecal impacted individual. I don't even know when I'm telling jokes anymore. I've gotten so good at it. A certain person got angry because the subreddit that he used to be a mod of booted him. They let him still talk there, but they would rail on him when he would talk, and he got angry. So 2 days later, he makes an announcement. He's making his brand new subreddit to hate on her. A new place to hate her every day and talk about it daily. Heavily moderated against anybody with a differing opinion than the people there. Only minutes after announcing that, these images popped up on the original Reddit that had slighted the crazy king in the first place. This shows a family that lives next to Katie Joy Paulson. It shows their full address, shows their full names, legal names, shows a picture of the mother, picture of the father, and a picture of their son. And this was shared with the words, "Do what you will with this info," onto the Reddit to dox them. Then, a few minutes later, this was shown. It is a list of Katie Joy's home address, full legal name, and telephone number. Then, a few moments later, this was shown. It is the house, the aerial view of the community of both houses of the both doxed families. This shows up on the Reddit that the king left just moments after he celebrated opening up his brand new Reddit and putting the first 2 posts on it, hating on Katie Joy. Doxing her, doxing her neighbor, and doxing the neighbor's child and picture. A lot of people would say, why would anybody do that to the neighbor or Katie? And why would that happen on that subreddit? Nothing like that had ever happened on that subreddit until moments after he created a new subreddit. And because of that, I went live to give my opinion a day or two ago. I told everybody that this story has gone to a dangerous level, that even though people are trying to show the evidence of where these people are lying about Katie to try to instill this mob of people attacking her every few months, they try to kick it back up. Even though people are showing how this is false, showing where these people are lying, they still are forcing the story by operating behind the scenes. He admits to being in the secret group. He admits to be running these operations. However he will define those operations, you know how I define them, and you're free to decide how you define them. Personally, I don't see how anybody can go off of YouTube behind the scenes into these groups and then act like it's a YouTube beef and that they're exposing someone. You've left YouTube. You've left YouTube beef. You've left the YouTube drama. You're doing something different. How do you define what you're doing that's different than that? I'd say it's harassment and cyber stalking. You can define it as you will. You get me? But I had told everybody that responding in live streams in my normal fashion, of course, I'm addressing you right now, just talking to you. I'm not doing my show with all the music and all the production and trying to be funny. I'm literally numbing and dumbing down my show so that, you know, this whole thing is, you know, put to the side and people understand. But to sum this up, because of where this story is going, because of how these secret groups are, when you have a group that sits in the shadows and shares addresses, shares these things, and does this like it's been admitted by that group themselves that they've done, it doesn't matter if what they're saying is true or false. The people in that group, once you've lied that much about somebody for an entire year, every day, some of them are going to take it to the next level. That is what's happening. Do I believe that it's random people? No, I believe it's them. I believe it's the people running the group that are doing the doxings and leading this charge. But for people out there that believe it was just a random someone, member of the group, that got too crazy and decided to post all that information to the subreddit, still, you have to be able to admit that this is all happening because of the people running this campaign. What do you call it when a bunch of people get together to do a mission? It's called a campaign. And if you define it as anything but harassment, you could say it's a campaign of that. But I define it as a campaign of cyber stalking, a campaign of harassment. And I've been very specific to why with a literal database of evidence to why. I've given you the database of evidence. The other side refuses, but they'll tell you we've given you nothing after claiming they don't watch our videos. There's the problem. If you'd watch my videos, they're recorded, they're online, you'd actually know that you're lying. So maybe you need to watch them. Maybe you should admit you've watched all of them, then actually stand up and give real opinions, real reactions to what I said. Never happened. They never want to put that out there. They don't want to put those things in the front of the people that they're trying to instill this hate. Once you put logic in front of them, once you put the explanation in front of them, then the emotional pull, the emotional thing that pushes them forward kind of dies down because they got that logic kicking off. They start to remember those things that are said, right? Either way, because it's gotten to that point, I believe that we should move into the final draw of the story. That's what I was saying on Rock a lot a few days ago. Of course, this whole thing about veterans, this whole thing about, you know, because I'm a disabled veteran, now I must be mentally ill or whatever they're trying to say here. It's just another method for them to push the boundary of what they do in the hopes that they'll get the attention they want. Well, here you go. I gave it to you for one more stream. There you go. One other thing. I normally don't care that people call me Jason. Since I started my main channel, I've told people my name was Jason, and I don't use it though now. And because of like a lot of doxings and stuff, I tell people, yeah, don't call me Jason, just call me Uni or UNIRock. And I really don't mind. I've had people that have followed my channel for years that call me Jason, and I don't care about that. But these other content creators wielding hate and the doxings going on, I have asked politely that they don't call me Jason until all the doxings and shit dies down. Then they can do it all they want. Of course, they've been spamming any tweet they can with my name in it because I asked them not to, which is fine with me. I don't want them to use my name. I've requested that they stop, but at least you know they are the type of doxing scumbags that if you ask them not to, they're going to do it just because you asked them not to. They're that kind of contrarian, and I just want to make sure that that's out there. You get it? Okay. So, one last piece of the puzzle here. What am I going to do any other time any of this stuff happens? How am I going to handle it? I took the story to Rock a lot so that it wouldn't be on the bigger channel, getting the bigger attention. You know, we've had streams over here about this story that have tipped 800, 900 or more concurrent viewers. People were really invested in it back in November and December. And I could have taken what was going on with Sharrell's World and streamed every night, going through everything and doing my normal thing and blown it up again. But I chose not to. I chose to do it on Rock a lot, not as often, and to make sure that all I was doing was criticizing. I wasn't doing the comedy. I wasn't doing a lot of the memes and everything, you know, just rarely. And even then, still it's being said that this is all done for money and it's all done for attention. I don't know why anyone wouldn't think that doing it here would make me more money and attention. Just this stream alone has made me more money than most of my Rock a Lot streams put together. And imagine if I would have done a stream every night about this story for the last month or 2 weeks or week even. So that's why I don't want to cover it here. I just want to make sure the people on this channel know why I don't want to cover it here. The developing parts, you know, and I will be uploading the summation videos, you know, my response, the finale to all the new stuff that's happened, because people pretend like they don't get that that's what I do. That I go out, I'm in communities, I do these things, I upload these big like mini doc type videos anytime something pops off. Even though I've been doing it for years, they want to act like they have no clue why I stream how I stream. They have no clue why I do what I do. And they even will attest that I'm on UNIRocktv blowing up a story so I can get rich and have subs and all this. So why do I take it to a brand new channel and do it there and not do it on the bigger channel? Oh, because you know everyone will follow you over and it'll be just the same and all this. I disagree. I disagree when I had more people watching me play Tarkov before the Sharrell thing happened on a stream where we talked about colonial history followed by Escape from Tarkov. More people watched that concurrently and the total number of views than any of the stuff about this stupid story. And yet that the real data, the real information doesn't matter, just like all this other information doesn't matter. The hard data doesn't matter, just like the other information doesn't matter. Literally, when someone's so crazy that they can't accept reality, what do you call that? Well, in the realm of these guys, in the realm of this story, because of who they debunk, we call them flatties. People that believe that the earth is flat because of the same mentality and mindset that I've shown you that this pocket of flatty debunkers uses, thus devaluing their entire need for their original content, right? Other than from people that won't look at what's going on. It's just drama. We won't look at it. What I think has happened is because of the actions of these guys, this pocket of flatty debunkers, they've exposed a greater number of flatty debunkers that sit around simp fighting for these guys in the background. And that's why I did announce my new series where I will be taking a look at the flat earth debunking community and breaking down these guys, how they operate, how they support each other in a dishonest way while criticizing flatties for doing the same thing. I think it's going to make a great series. I'm excited for it. I've already got a couple of them done. You've seen them. XX person is a flatty, right? The uploads, I mean, not the live streams. One thing's for sure. These guys are worse than flat earthers. That's for sure. The people retweeting that garbage and the people saying it, they're worse than flat earthers. They actually probably believe the earth is flat. They believe in a lot of other more absurd conspiracy theories. I don't know why we wouldn't assume it. But at least now you'll know when you're choosing a debunker to watch, which debunker is debunking them for the right reasons and which ones are doing it for that cash flow and doing it to get into that club, right? See you later. Heading to Rock-A-Lot. Last thing I'll do is pull up the live chat and hit the super chats, and then I'm going to the after show. Let's go. Type now. If you gave an opinion that you want me to read out, type it now, okay? Because I didn't watch earlier, so you're going to have to type it. After show hosted on YouTube channel Rock-A-Lot, D-Live, Periscope, and Mixer. All right, let's see what you guys got. If you have a comment, type it in, and then we'll head over to the Rock-A-Lot channel for the after show. On the after show, I'll talk to you for a little bit on the live chat, and then we're going to play a little bit of Escape from Tarkov before we go offline. Now, those of you are going to say, a little bit, you're going to play forever. I know I typically play for a long time, but that was because of the event. There were events going on in the video game. Now those events are over, and it's going to be more like a normal gaming session. You know, we prepared for the big event. We participated in the big event. We wrecked fools in the big event, and we got some awesome gameplay footage that'll be uploaded in video form soon on Rock-A-Lot, just so for those of you that are fans of that kind of thing. If you want to watch and support it, the uploads will be coming hopefully in a couple days. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to go through a 10-hour stream, an 11-hour stream, a 9-hour stream, a 10-hour stream, and get all the clips and all the funny moments where me and Brainy and Bino and BCP and Michael are sitting there fighting with each other, team killing each other, yelling at each other, all the good kills, all the good plays, all the good grenades, all the bad grenades, all those things that I want to get and put into those videos. It takes a long time. I'm trying, but the videos are going to be awesome. And Brainy is funny. You got to see some of these clips. Brainy is so funny. Brainy Beaver and Brainy Beaver Games. He is so freaking funny. My goodness. He's so good, too. He's so good at the game. Like, me and him argue so much in that game, but we all, like, we very lightly argue. It's so funny. All right. The poster account has been removed from Reddit. I'm probably missing some context. Definition of doxing: searching for and publishing private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet with malicious intent. Yes. Yes. The intent matters. What are you trying to do? Why are you doing it? Doesn't matter why you say you're doing it. It matters why you're doing it. You can't just sit there and spam out someone's address like they've been doing and then say, hey, we're not being mean. We're not trying to get people to do things here. No, definitely you are. Why? What's the other thing what are you doing it for? What's the logical reason you're doing it? Okay, we got it. Their database includes Katie having purple hair and more recently slamming paperwork down. I know. And they wonder why they don't get the support that they want. It's like people are allowed to be themselves. And yeah, you guys might hate other people for being who they are or whatever the hell it is. But we're not. I don't care to. You do you. You do you. If you make a shitty take on something, have a shitty opinion, I'll debunk you or I'll respond or I'll criticize. And if you do something really dumb, really bad, if you share people's addresses, if you try to insult people because of their veterans' disabilities and try to do these other, then we'll lolcow at you. We'll laugh at you. It's what we do on the internet. But you can't just sit there and say, take me seriously while acting like this for this long. I'm with you. I'm with you. The user that was doxing has been removed from Reddit. Gotcha. Yeah, I figured. They banned the account, obviously. It's against the TOS. It's against... That was one thing I forgot to tell you. The person who did the doxings of Katie and her neighbor on Reddit onto the enemy subreddit of you-know-who has been deleted for TOS violations due to what they shared. And the people who, for some reason, Steve and his buddies have been incessantly defending what that person did, saying that it wasn't doxing because her address and her phone number are public information. This is why they'll go around telling everybody they don't dox, and everybody else will tell you that they do, because they don't know how to define words. They think that their arguments about atheism literally is they can redefine whatever they want. They don't have to accept how people use these words or why somebody is or what that person is understands the definition to be. They think they get to define the words. Same thing with doxing, as with atheism, as with agnosticism. They write these big, long things, all this drivel. They'll throw in equations and big talk. And, oh, yeah, I debunked that whole thing. His whole atheist argument, I debunked it months ago. Yeah. She smacked her lips. Well, now I'm going to unsub her and tweet at her all day. Exactly. Great sarcasm. Playing with her hair. Oh, my God. Crucify her. Night, bunny. The look in his eyes. Oh, yeah. You caught me, August. I know nothing about the way crack is done. Busy does. The Oxford Dictionary. Then there's the Taint Dictionary. Oh, sure. Oh, sure it can. Busy knows everything there. All right. Last thing we got to do is hit these super chats and memberships, and then we're going to go over to the Rock-A-Lot. Jessica, thank you. Leroy, thank you times 2, 3, my guy, 4, my guy. You're too cool. Big thanks to all that have served. Well, I'm sure they all appreciate it, and I appreciate it too. Thank you. I pissed off a mother of 2 vets. Hearts to you, says Doris. Kamala says, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Memorial Day is to pay to our respect to those who didn't return. And don't forget the soldiers that did return, that left a part of themselves in the field. Every day is a day to say thank you. And I always say this. Anyone that's ever thanked me, you don't have to thank me, but I appreciate it very much. Owelsa is a member. Noli, member. Pigs in Space, thank you for your service and your honesty about your disability. He's a despicable coward. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Thank you. Kelly, Doris, Island Mom, thank you all. I appreciate you. Now, I've got stuff to do. One thing that I want to make sure I get done is these Tarkov videos, because I'm starting to gain momentum with it in the live streams. I'm starting to get contacted by other Tarkov streamers, and you know, I got to keep working. We've got sponsorships. We've got that going on. We've got a lot of plans for the channel. We're moving studios. I just want to thank all of you. Let you know that I appreciate you. Love you. See you soon. And don't ever... It doesn't matter if you're disabled or whatever, you know, all that cheesy shit. Don't ever be afraid to speak your mind. That used to be the slogan of my main channel. Always be kind and don't be afraid to speak your mind. I used to say it at the end of every video. And I think that that's the one thing that this story shows, is that there are people out there that'll want you to not speak up and tell people how you feel about a story. Become a YouTuber. Don't worry about it. You don't look all this hate that's out there. Let other YouTubers handle it. Just give your opinion. There are so many people that are starting to upload their thoughts about all this. And Chris is one, and Suge is one, Learning with Suge. And there's so many other YouTubers that are finally speaking out about all this. And it's gotten to the point where I told you it would all go months ago. Now, I did think it would go away because there was a time period there where it seemed like it was going to stop. But let them continue forever. Let them play their dark side Phil game. Let them become their wings of redemption. Let them Chris Chan into the distance. I'm heading to the rock a lot. Thanks, you guys.